All right, you guys. Think Bigger Podcast, Community Conversations. Today I have HIGGINSBUILT. Online, his Instagram, everyone's going to recognize that. The car guys, you're going to recognize that. The white Civic build, HIGGINSBUILT. But his name is?
Nicholas Higgins.
Okay, so HIGGINSBUILT comes from that. But his name is Nick. And, there's a lot going on here that's far, far deeper than cars. And it's about life, community conversations for my new listeners. Community conversations is a conversation that we have in the community with someone that we learn not just about them, but we learn from them, okay? So we're sitting here, secret location, in a secret whip, having breakfast together, and we're gonna have this conversation. We got dogs wilding out. But you know what, you guys? I like to have good quality sound. I like to have those types of things. But what I care more about is being able to share conversations with someone in the community and share it with you guys. So, Nick, let's talk, man. Since most people are going to know about the car.
Correct.
Fine. Let's speak on that, right?
Okay.
So, you guys, you came down here to SoCal.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, what was the occasion?
The occasion was to get a photo shoot for Super Street Magazine at the Motor Trend facility.
Okay. So for those of you guys on the Instagram and things like that, you might have seen it. But we were at the Motor Trend studio. It's their office and studio in Southern California, El Segundo. So You brought the car down. So okay, let's do that. Where did you bring the car down from?
I brought the car down from Santa Clara, California, back home in the Bay Area.
Bay Area.
Yes, sir.
All right. Brought the car down to do this studio shoot, but how did this magazine coverage
end up happening again?
How did it even happen? Yeah.
Okay, so I was out here a few weeks back for SpokeCon Anaheim. And, getting the car all ready and dealed up. And I happily ran across Sam again from Deuce Speed. And we had a quick conversation about,
You guys, Sam Du is the editor-in-chief of Super Street Magazine.
Yep. So we had a conversation, good time catching up again, asking how's life doing and everything. And we got dialed in about the car. He's seen the car. After 3 years of it being built, he's seen the reveal on it. And he wanted to see him about, trying to get it locked in to do a photo shoot again. So, I told him it's an honor to set up another date with you to do this photo shoot. And, that's how we all got started. And that's why we're here today.
All right. Spoke at Anaheim. You had been debuting the car, brought it out. Almost 100% done.
Just about.
He sees it. I love it. I want to shoot it. All right. So, here we are. You brought the car down. I'll meet you over there at the studio. What did you think about getting a vehicle, photographed inside of a studio? That's your first time, right?
Yeah, it was a great experience. Didn't expect all that, but it was something different from just shooting outside and just in local areas, Motor Trend's a big company, and I was just thankful that we were able to just lock something in like that, just to get dialed in for a studio shoot.
And I've been blessed to be in that studio multiple times. I've gone to support other friends over the last 10 years.
Yep.
And it was really, really cool to be able to experience it again. They're supporting somebody.
Yeah.
The whole process, right? It's really elaborate, right? It's pretty interesting to see how much work goes into it, right?
Oh, definitely a lot of work. You can see the time and the effort they put into that. It's nothing but quality up in there.
Yeah.
That's a great thing about that company. It's very strong. All
right, so you guys, I had to sit down with Nick and have this community conversations. There's such a history. So cars and getting to the point where, for many enthusiasts, having a prestigious publication, a magazine, or even, some of the biggest blogs are considered to be like, that's the pinnacle of a build
Yeah.
is that it gets recognized. Winning a car show could be the pinnacle, and or getting featured.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So, what is your pinnacle?
My pinnacle about this build is nothing about winning car shows and all that. You know, it's an honor, and I'm blessed to be, you know, able to go through that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But the more bigger picture about this build is I was able to complete it for my mom and dad, and that was the main goal. And I was able to complete that goal for them.
Yeah.
You know, there was at a point a few years back when they were alive, and just it was more about, okay, I'm building a car for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But things change and life changed a lot, and sometimes you just gotta look at the bigger picture of overall everything. Of what are you really doing it for? You know, and they knew they seen a vision in me, and that I probably didn't see in myself at one point. You know, and I just had to continue my race just for them, and that's why the car got completed.
All right. Well, you know, you touched on it, so I'm going to ask you to elaborate, right?
Okay.
They're obviously, people here are not going to understand what you just said.
Yeah.
When you said you completed it for your parents
Right.
while they were still alive.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to touch on that.
Okay.
So how and what happened?
Okay.
And obviously we know what you were able to do with that hardship, with
Right.
the vehicle and channeling your energy. But I want to talk about that. Like what happened, if you can speak on that,
Yeah, of course.
that got you to this point.
It got me to this point. You know, just to break down. I mean, before when they were still alive, they always, you know, supported me what I did. I mean, overall, of course, they knew we always put a lot of money into this, and you have old school parents that always tells you that you could have bought a new car and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But they still supported me. You know, building cars kept me off the streets. You know, doing some stupid shit. But yeah, I kept pushing, kept building the car, and then after that, around 2017, my dad got sick. He was sick for a few years, but he got sick. Found out that he had stage 4 cancer, and he kept pushing like a fighter. Just kept pushing, never gave up. He was blessed to still push for about over 2 years after he found out he had stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
And for that 2 years of pushing, you know, it kind of slowed me down on my build. And while that slowed me down on my build, I started taking care of him a lot. And there was at a point in life where, you know, he was kind of done fighting. You know, he had a hard time breathing. He had lung cancer, so he had a hard time breathing. And he could have totally kept fighting, keep going through the chemo, but you know, we brought him to the doctors, and his lungs were getting really bad, and he honestly told the doctors, and what broke me down in tears, I've never seen a doctor cry at all too. He told the doctor that he's tired of suffering. Okay. And he said that my dad's seen a doctor cry, and he's never seen a doctor cry. And my dad pretty much told the doctor that he's ready. So we had a fly down family from, you know, Seattle and all this type of places.
Okay.
We had to have a, you know, family personal meeting. And yeah, I mean, this is something that I'm not ashamed about. You know, my dad's very proud for how strong he fought and how much he made of a strong family.
Okay.
And yeah, we had a conversation, and he said that he was ready to go.
I see.
So we had to just all to agree and respect his wishes.
Yeah.
And yeah, he passed in 2017 of April.
Yeah.
And then prior to that, before he passed, he just wanted to make sure that he was worried about me as being the youngest one. Like, you know, I'm worried about Nick, you know, this and that. But I told him, don't worry, you know, like, you know, just whatever. We respect any wishes that you want. So after he passed, I had to take care of my mom. He wanted me to take care of our mom, of course. So we did that, of course, just took care of her every day. And then she somehow got sick too. She's been on dialysis for about 5 years.
Okay.
In 2018 comes along, February. She ended up getting pretty sick where it wasn't even got to do with anything from what I know with the dialysis. She caught an infection in her stomach.
Okay.
Somehow clogged the artery of the heart or something like that. and she ended up, we ended up bringing her to the hospital, and she ended up passing within 2 days there. We didn't think she was going to pass. I thought it was just her being sick, bringing her to the hospital and bringing her home late that night. That's less than a year that's not even within a year of my dad passing away yet.
Right.
That's within like 10 months.
Crazy.
Yeah. And, crazy too, because before we brought her to the hospital, she was saying to God, like, she's not ready to go. I still want to take care of Nick and the family, and I worry about Nick so much, and it was just it was heartful, and yeah, she ended up passing, and then that reality checked me overall, even though I lost my dad, because I never really have close people that passed away like that. Even personal friends, like I only have one that passed maybe back in 2010, but younger. But as you grow older, it definitely takes an impact on you, and it makes you appreciate life. But I was just truly blessed to be raised by two great parents. Like my mom and dad, I met, they raised me really good.
But you know what, man? So first of all, I mean, a lot of that I knew, but a lot of that I didn't.
Yeah.
And so it's very nice of you to share that, for the people listening, I want, all of us can relate to that on a level, because you got some people who didn't have parents at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, I relate to him now knowing what it's like to not have parents.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people who didn't have one or the other, but everyone's lost someone. And unfortunately, sometimes more than one person that we love. And, it's a thing that can totally break somebody.
Oh, it totally could break somebody.
Right?
I could admit it, and I'm no shame to say, is that I had my ups and downs. There's still times at this era of time right now where it's normal to cry. There's nothing to hide about that. You gotta cry. You gotta cry. If if you feel like you're going through some things, you gotta talk to somebody. But most important is that you gotta able to talk to yourself.
That's a point right there.
You gotta able to stand up on your own, and know that even though you got family and there to support you, they'll make you happy. But main key is you're gonna make yourself happy. And that's where people lost a lot of things right there. And it's all in the mindset. I mean, there's times where, like I said, I still cry at this moment, but it's normal. I'm not sad about it or anything like that. I just let it all out. And I just gotta know that my parents wouldn't want to see me cry. I just got to keep pushing forward for them and finish my race. That's what they would want me to do. So overall, of like me building a car, I stopped building it for myself. I dedicated my time and everything all for them now. And I completed the car, and it was decided to debut it at a place where they were last at back in 2016 with my car at Weekfest San Jose. So that's why I was able to just have an honor to, like, okay, let's debut it at the same show, in the same area, to get that good feeling of, reminiscing that they were here at that time and era.
You guys, I really want to touch on a couple of things he just said. So first of all, you have a grown man who's, able to just simply admit that sometimes emotions get to you and you cry. And, we talk about that, the listeners here, they know that it's a place where you can say things that you're not really going to say. Like this podcast, the whole Think Bigger podcast and the Think Bigger project is part of being able to acknowledge that you might feel like a little too, it's weak. Oh, it's weak to cry. And not just, but you definitely wouldn't tell someone.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you definitely wouldn't.
But you know what, man? It's not weak. You got to be able to think for yourself and about yourself. And that's kind of another thing that you touched on, you guys, that I really thought was a vital point is, you have to be able to have a conversation with yourself.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
People don't know how to sit down by themselves and converse and know themselves. I'm always talking about self-awareness. In other episodes, we've touched on that. Yeah. And that's what self-awareness is. That's part of the process, is knowing who you are, how you feel, how you will and will not react to things, and being able to get comfortable with who you are. Everyone's so busy trying to know somebody else or get to know somebody else. Maybe they're dating, family, friends, whatever. But what about you? Yeah. When everyone else is gone, can you be in a room by yourself
and know yourself?
And know yourself.
Not a lot of people could do that.
It's very difficult, and I stress this to you guys all the time. So it's amazing that a person of a younger age is able to say that. And you guys, it doesn't always have to take something as powerfully traumatic as losing a family member or a loved one.
Yeah.
For that type of process to get started. Yeah. With Nick, it started because of the first and then unfortunately the second loss.
Like I had a witness that I had a witness to like know myself after I lost my dad, just right there. But for some people it's best to like learn to know yourself before anything tragic or anything like that happens. Just over self of you wanting to build in a car or you want to accomplish things like trying to be an NBA player or anything like that. You got to learn to know yourself and what you're worth and just to be strong-minded, because if you don't, that's what puts people down in life, and you're going to feel like you're going to always need somebody and not know how to stand up on their own feet.
Dude, right there, you guys, right there. If you don't know yourself, if you don't know your capabilities, if you don't practice and evolve as a person consciously, which is what this is all about.
Yeah.
If you don't purposely and consciously choose to do that, why would you expect to be good at something?
Yeah.
I always talk about that. Like, your mind is just like any muscle.
Yeah.
Guys will go to the gym and lift and get buff, and they are practicing and putting effort into building their body.
Right.
But what about your mind?
Yeah.
And so whether it's trauma or just personal growth, it doesn't always have to be something traumatic. A lot of people have something traumatic, and that's what like forces them to man up, right?
Yeah.
If that's the way to word it, fine. But you guys, how about just doing that before something traumatic happens?
Yeah, of course.
You can take, like Nick's sharing his story, you can let that be like, man, damn, dude, like, I don't need to have that happen before I start to appreciate those around me more.
Yeah.
I don't need to lose somebody before I say I should have. Everyone's at a funeral talking about I should have told them that I love them more. Yeah. I should have spent more time with them.
Yeah.
How about you just do that shit right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right at this moment.
Right at this moment.
While they're still breathing and everything like that, tell them, what's the point of being ashamed? Why are you guys holding it in? Mm-hmm.
Is it pride? It's
definitely pride. People have pride out there. That's why people lose family members and friendships and overall everything. Things of like, not going well at your job because you got too much pride. You got to let that pride down a little bit and ease up on it and just express yourself. Don't be ashamed of talking to people how you feel and all that. Like, if there's something wrong, speak up on it. Don't front.
Okay, now, so many ways people express themselves to the community and with each other through fashion, right? Through sneakers, through cars, through a variety of things, right? When we were at your studio shoot, hey, for everyone listening, there's a vlog. I'm doing a vlog on our day together at the shoot. There's a couple of really dope moments. We were talking about shoes or whatever. Yep. But your biggest love is cars. Okay, now let's talk about that. When? What age? What happened that you were like, I'm not even low key. I'm like high key addicted.
Yeah. Oh man. Probably started in high school.
Huh?
For me, and it probably goes out for a few other people. I know this for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
I think it probably when it goes out to Big Mike too, is that before the Honda scene, I was always into lowriders.
Okay.
Man, back then in high school, you were able to slip your pictures in the binder. So on the front of the binder, you could see what you have there. I had the Dog Pound with Snoop and Corrupt and all them on there. I had the 6-tray Impala right there on the binder.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I was always into the lowrider thing.
That was also a West Coast gang culture.
Yeah, it was that West Coast gang culture.
That was a very normal, like, thing. That was the thing.
That's a normal thing in California.
Yeah.
In general, and those are things that will still never die, even if in this 2019 era, it's still gonna be strong. This whole West Coast thing with the whole lowrider.
Yep.
But it just all started with the whole lowriders, and then throughout time, I started evolving around Hondas a little bit more through friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got myself into getting involved with picking up an EF. I had an EF hatch that my friend kind of had me down to, and
What year?
it was a '89 Civic hatchback. Actually, it was my Uncle Lawrence that gave me the hatchback.
And then what year did you get it?
I got it and so I graduated in '07.
Okay.
And I didn't get it until like late 2008, and that's when I got my license. I didn't have my license in high school. They didn't have a damn cell phone in high school. You know what I mean? Like if I couldn't get a hold of somebody, I couldn't get a hold of somebody. You know. So yeah,
That's how it was.
I might have to catch you at the payphone or something like that. But yeah, I just got my car back in 2008 and started building up from there. I don't know if you guys seen, but I kind of explained a little bit of my story in 2016 feature of April of my Super Street magazine back then, about of me evolving of building a car, and wrecking in 2010, somehow finding the same chassis after a week of my accident.
Oh.
The same '89 Civic hatchback on Craigslist. And
okay, for the people that didn't see that, didn't read that, elaborate on that story.
Yeah, so basically got my car in 2008. I built that car. Not as much as I built this new setup, but just, the little basics, intake, exhaust, little wire chuck, single cam. And yeah, I had that for about 2 years, from 2008 to 2010.
Okay.
I ended up wrecking it like a fool. You won't see somebody on the street to think they're fast.
Oh, you were street racing.
Street racing. Let's go chase them down and let's just go race them.
Yeah.
Did the whole knick-knack thing. And somehow dude ended up losing control and hitting me. And then ended up wrecking the car. And after a week later of wrecking that car, I found one on Craigslist. And my dad was like, I don't think you should get that car. I think it's bad luck. Well, low key, I slid aside of what he told me and was able to gather up some money, probably a good $1,000, and went to go see that car myself. Ended up getting the car and ended up giving it to my uncle and telling my uncle, hey, Unks, just tell Pops that you found another hatchback and just bring it over to the house.
Oh, wow.
So he came over a few days later and said, Uncle, I found a hatchback for Nick. Do you want it? And Pops just said, like, how much you want for it? Not $800. And that's where I got the second chassis that you guys seen me build at this moment. End up getting that one and just ground up building it too. Same type of motor. It was single cam. We all love the single cam, how it burns oil. Blew a year later, spun a rod bearing and all this, and I was ready for it to go.
Yeah.
Did a quick little B16 swap. Enjoyed that for a couple of years. Did a few changes to that. And like I said, I got in that feature in 2016. Yeah, then the motor blew after 4 years of building that motor, and did a K motor now. And like I said, I stopped building it for myself after my dad passed while I was building this new setup. And this is where we're at right now. And somehow it just evolved to be bigger than what it is. Being honored here today, like to do this photo shoot with Motor Trend with Super Street. Always good to connect with my brother Big Mike and just having this podcast with him.
You guys, we're sitting here, like I said, secret location.
Yep, eating breakfast.
I got a sandwich. You got what'd you get?
Ham and cheese omelet.
A ham and cheese omelet.
From the farmers?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep, farmers.
So, we're over here, you guys, and, previous podcasts and future podcasts are going to be in different locations because, I sat with Dav of Mims Honda Day. I was in London. I sat on the East Coast when I was in Halcyon Photo. Anthony, we were out in Philly. And now I'm sitting here in Southern California with Nick. He's from Northern Cal, but he's down here because of the studio shoot with the EF. Now, we've been able to get a feel for how we got to this point. The street racing crash. Luckily, did you get hurt?
Did not get hurt.
Did the other dude get hurt?
The other dude did not get hurt. We ended up hitting the divider on top of a bridge.
What?
We literally, he smashed into me. We both hit the divider. My car did a fully 360 on the top of the bridge. Somehow I was able to correct it, grab a hold of the steering wheel, and still downshift into third gear and pulled out to the side safely. Whole quarter panel and everything was smashed in like you never seen tomorrow. And I was able to walk away with no problem. No bruises or nothing. Truly blessed.
Now let's talk about that real quick. Was that enough to tell you I don't think I should be street racing anymore?
That definitely wasn't enough to tell me to take it to the track and just be more official about all this. You know what I mean? You know, you have the courage to see other people still street racing out there. It's cool and all, but there's more to life than just trying to race somebody for 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 8 seconds, however fast.
Try to be all proud and swagged out.
Yeah, like I don't understand. I know that's where your pride comes in.
Yeah.
And that's where sometimes, you know what? I don't need to race this person. You need to let that pride go down. Because if you get your pride too high up, like I said, you could lose people like that, relationship, friends, just overall, even if they're still alive or not, you could lose stuff like that. And it's not worth trying to race somebody over pride and then you end up losing your life.
Yeah, 100%, man. And people still do it, but
people still do it.
This right here, this is a very good example, you guys, of what could happen. You know, this gentleman was able to survive. The other person did, and you know, we don't know their journey and if they learned, but you learned.
Yeah, definitely learned on that.
And so, okay, so you the whole thing about this little side angle that you pulled with your uncle.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's the chassis we see.
That's the chassis you're seeing right now.
So let's talk about that. This setup, you know, for those of you who may have seen it online or at Spocom or any other event, right? Fine, it's made its buzz, and there's a reason for that. But let's talk about that. So let's get a breakdown. So you have the single cam, you had the B, now your K. So let's break down your K setup.
Okay.
What do you have?
I have a K24 A1 block with the K20 A2 head.
Okay.
Just, you know, your ordinary pick up a long block at the wrecking yard.
Yeah.
Quick $500. Didn't care what kind of K block it was because I knew what I was going to do with it. Got the pistons out, the rods, oil pump, and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the start of it all. And I had this long block within a year before I blew my B16. So it was ready in the making.
Okay.
Didn't touch it, but it was on the engine stand and everything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just ended up gutting it out. Do you want to, I mean, what more do you want to know about the motor? Like, you just...
I mean, because there's people who are like, yo, I already know, right? I saw it. I took pictures of it at this event or I follow you on IG. But there's also going to be people who don't know. So what I'd like for you guys to do is, at the end of this, make sure you check the captions on Instagram and on YouTube, and you can see his particular tag. I'll tag him, and you guys can go to his Instagram account. You can follow him. You can see the car. And that'll give people who don't have any idea what you're really describing at the moment a chance. Yeah. And when it comes out in Super Street Magazine, you guys will be able to see it then. But for those of you who don't know, right? You have
so it's a K24 with K20 head. And I reach out to a lot of big people that you know, I wanted to be involved. I'm very picky who I want to be involved, and it's not that I have a strong pride. It's just I took that more of like, I'm doing this for my mom and dad now. Yes. And that's my pride a little bit right at the moment.
Yeah.
You know? Just had to build a new setup big and better for them. And it's K24 with K20 head. Just piston the rods, 12-5 with cartel cams, ultra manifold with the 156 for piston port, 1050 ID injectors, Magna fuel, 750 fuel pump, Meyer header competition, Rye Wire, especially Ryan from Rye Wire. Beyond thankful for that guy. Me and him go way back since San Jose, before he got a shop. You know, I remember he was doing it out of his garage, going to the pick and pull, learning the connectors and everything like that.
Yo, shout out to Ryan from Rye Wire. Yeah. So a lot of people, right, dude, a lot of people don't know that he's originally from NorCal, and you knew him back then. Yep. And Ryan, like, when he was establishing himself, when he was learning all the wire harnesses, going to the junkyard, going to the pick and pull, buying the harnesses, pieces, connectors, and learning how to do that, that's when you knew him. Yep. You know, so it's really cool to see him.
It's definitely good to see that guy evolve, and it's just only going to get big and brighter for that guy for the future.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. So there's a lot of people who have Civics,
Yeah.
whether they're EFs, EGs, EKs, whatever, right? Let's just say there's a lot of people with Civics,
Yep.
a whole lot of people, and there's now in this day and age a whole lot of people who have K swaps.
Yep.
There's a whole lot of people who have raise wheels.
Yeah,
There's a whole lot of people who have white cars.
Yep.
But let's talk about something here. The combination of what you put together, the style, right?
The style
That
of the build.
particular way of doing an engine bay,
Yeah.
that particular way of doing an interior setup.
Correct.
Okay, all of that. Let's touch on that. Who and where inspired you to go in those directions?
So for the whole engine bay, of course, you know, with the whole shaved bay and all that,
Yeah.
there was a lot of people out there. The people that inspired me, or people I've seen that I looked up to, didn't have all the whole shaved engine bay.
Okay.
A little bit of came from, you know, seeing how the old school days, you know, Volkswagen and all that. So
Yeah.
I started that.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the shaved bay, so you know I got a little bit of a vision inspired off that. And then the whole evolve into this new style look comes across of seeing how people built their interiors. Let's give a great example. The gutted interior. I've always seen how Ryan built his car. It looks
Right.
Yeah, like the way they know it was gutted and it was just raced out. I felt like my car needed to see something different, even though my last setup looks more like the Osaka theme. Wanted to take it to the next stage. And then the upholstery, of course, and this and that came across of like seeing how Big Mike's car, you yourself,
Okay.
you know, seeing how, you know, the suede and all that.
Okay.
The fuego, you know, the sauce on that. So yeah, it was just
sauce.
It was something different, and I just wanted to get that feel a little bit with the black leather. I mean, black suede.
Yeah.
To correct myself, and just overall, just seeing the big and better picture of the car. You know, always trying to be better. You know, with the humble personality.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't go over the top of your head with all that, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, being in NorCal, having events to go to, having other homies that are into Hondas and various other types of cars.
Yeah.
So it was just a combination.
It was a combination
just
of
what, like from online and magazines and stuff?
You know what? It was a little bit of online. You know, of course.
Like forums or something?
You know, just, of course, a little bit of Instagram here and there. But I could literally sit in my garage and see what I want to build and how I want to build it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do too much of an overkill, but I just knew exactly this is the way I want to build it. So, sometimes to tell people out there, that's sometimes the best way to build a car, because you're not really copying everybody's exact style, you know. Sometimes, like I say, sometimes you got to learn to be by yourself and learn how to see the big and better picture. Okay, so like a great example is my car. I learned to sit there, even though my mom and dad passed. They had a style like they thought this and would look good on my car, and I did put those touches in my car. You know, it was crazy. Like,
okay, like what?
Like let's say like the roof liner in the car. Pops knew I wanted to do a suede dash and this and that, and you know, he thought that was quality. You know, at his time and era, it's like that's too expensive. But he said, you know what, that would look good with the roof liner. So we switched it up to that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I
So Pop
see.
had a little bit of touch. He had a Datsun back then, and he just always supported the way my vision was, and he always had to add on to that contrast, and it was good to get involved with that.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's super dope. Okay, so you had so you've referenced, you know, your pops with, you know, maybe the old school, the suede and the headliner, and then you know, you said Ryan and the way he did his like raced out interior
the
setup.
Raced out interior, and even especially with his whole harnesses.
Yeah.
I had you know, the harnesses is the main key, and the execution on that harness and everything is good. So it made life easier just getting that harness, you know. And just overall switching up the lines and everything, right? Just coming from Vibrant, that's a great quality company too. To the XRP hoses, to the green valve cover.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that I never got played out when I seen Ryan's car back then. And
yeah, that's sort of like a theme now. You know, the EA, his EA, and then the white S2000.
Yeah.
So there was inspiration from Pops. You said myself,
Yep.
Ryan from Rywire,
Yeah,
and then Volkswagens.
Yeah, Volkswagen.
Right?
Yep, of course.
And then, of course, just various pictures of who knows what, maybe what, like on the Explore page on
maybe
IG.
a little Explore page. But then, I would say, like 70% of that was just really just sitting there and knowing
and just figuring it out, mapping it out.
I would just look at my car and like it would just evolve. Like, okay, this is exactly how I want to do it.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the garage by yourself,
by myself,
just looking.
Yeah, if you really got a passion for a car, you could literally sit there and know how you want to build a car.
Yo, it's totally true.
It's so
man.
hard to explain, but not a lot of people could do it. And I tell people these days that anybody could do what we do, or what I did. It's just how much you want it. I know it costs money, trust me, or people want to get sponsorship to get free stuff and that. But sometimes you got to put that aside and know that you could get it on your own.
It might take you longer than you wanted to. Who cares?
Who cares? Just build it the way you want to build it, and just never give up. If you really want to get it done, it will get done. Okay, and just do it with a humble attitude and just overall everything. Just be humble as possible, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, man.
Because we all started from somewhere, not able to have what we had right now in the car. So that's why I love to go to the local meets still. I love to support the local meets. If it's not too hot with the police and all that, I would go out there and have a good time. I would love to drive the car, and support the local people that even though the car is different and it's getting featured, it's still going to come out and support the people that I grew up with.
See, that's dope, man. You guys, like he said, you're sitting there, you're envisioning what you want it to look like.
Yeah.
And what I always tell people is not everyone can necessarily visualize it just in their mind.
No, they can't.
But Drew, draw it out, man. Mm-hmm. Take a piece of paper, like map out if it's like your brake lines or your fuel lines.
Yeah, your fuel lines.
Or you're like, take a picture. I mean, nowadays anyone can take a picture on your phone.
Oh yeah.
And like move it around and figure out where you're gonna put something.
There was times on social media where like I would figure out how people did this and that, and I would snapshot the photo and then just put it under my favorites. So if I need to go back on that, I would see how they did that.
Yeah. Or I like the way they routed this, but what if I just put it a little bit right here?
Exactly.
Then I can move this part there and it would look a little different.
Yeah. I mean, overall, even just like building a cage, my car on my cage, it's the way I visioned to build it. And I told my guy, Janky from Janky Motorsports, the way I wanted it. And he did exactly the way I wanted it. And it came out perfect.
That's dope. So let's talk about that. Like, so you guys will all see this very soon, but I mean, it is a cleaned out, chassis, right? All white, and it's got some really, really cool touches to it. Very racy while still being JDM.
Yep.
And like certain parts of it are super over the top and other parts of it are super chill.
Yeah.
It's got a good combination. And I mean, truthfully, like we talked about, man, you could do everything that we just talked about.
Yep. Anybody could do this.
Yeah, anyone could do it. But the part that I want people to really be able to understand is that you need to be able to understand that it is about what you are trying to create. You need to create your vision. And after all that work, I mean, you guys have Nick's story with family and then this trauma and finishing the car for them. Yeah. And even with something like that, he could bring it out to a show and people could look at it and be like, wow, man, that's really dope. And then just keep walking.
Yeah.
You'll never know if it's gonna have an effect on people per se.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Yeah, sometimes it will, sometimes it won't.
Like people are a little too caught up on that.
Yeah, and that's how life is, and that's never gonna change from right now to 20 years from now. It's never gonna change. That's just how people is gonna look at it
like you put all your blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
And if you bring it out, even with all the blood, sweat, and tears, if your whole point was to get people to like it, that's dangerous, man.
That's very dangerous.
Because what if they just don't like it? Then you're unhappy.
Yeah, then that's where you fail.
Yes.
Don't build it for people to like it. Don't build it because I want to make magazine or I need to fit in this crowd.
Right.
Trust me, right now you're gonna fail. If you're just trying to even do that for yourself for a diploma or anything like that, just don't do it for yourself, really, because that's where you're gonna learn how to love what you're building and love yourself.
Yeah, it's the truth, you guys.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of take success
Yeah.
as a reason to say, oh, well, look at them. They did it for the attention.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man. Like, whether or not people liked what you built, you would open your garage door
Yep.
and you would be happy.
I would be happy. That's
know?
exactly the way it should be.
Yes.
You know?
Anytime you get in it, you sit in it, you
know,
start it, you
yep.
drive it, even just looking at it.
Just know that you did that and you know you built it for yourself. You didn't build it for anybody else but yourself.
And so there's gonna be people who are gonna see it. Maybe you won at this past car show or two,
Yeah.
and then the magazine, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, here we go,
Yeah.
dude." People did it to me, bro.
Of course.
I'm over here dedicating the majority of my time and effort for the community,
Yeah.
and as ironically, like, crazy as it is, there are people who'd be like, "Man, that dude does everything for attention," and you're just like, "Where did you even get that from?"
See, that's where they're over their head, and that's the one thing is that we're gonna all notice is that we can't please everybody.
That's the truth.
Even if it has nothing to do with cars,
Right.
just even how nice you are. You could be the nicest person in the world, but you're not gonna please that person.
Somebody's gonna find a way to be like, that dude's a dick.
They're gonna pick something. They're gonna say that, damn, this guy didn't iron his shirt. I want to hate him all day. They're just gonna pick on you.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what
true,
I mean?
man.
So, dude, that's where you gotta learn how to just not worry about that. Because if you worry about that, you're gonna be so caught up in this time and age.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Gonna ruin yourself.
And, yeah, it's the truth, you guys. And I think that is happening on such a massive scale. And what it needs to do is it needs to change one thought at a time. You're not going to snap your fingers and change it, right? But you guys listening right now, I know some of you, it's resonating very, very deeply. You guys, it starts with a choice. It starts with one thought. You're not going to listen to this episode and hear Nick talking, and you're not going to just flip a switch. That's just not how it works. But you need to say to yourself, you know what, man, let me step back for a moment. Is everything that I do, is everything that I post for the likes? Just stop it for a moment and think about it. Is it? You got to be able to be self-aware.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to know yourself.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. It's crazy how people have pride even inside of themselves, to themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Because it takes pride. You have to swallow your own pride when talking to yourself and say, real talk. Let's just hold on, man. I don't know, go to the mirror if you have to and literally look in the mirror and say, when I post something, how long do I wait before checking to see who commented, how many people liked it?
That's where...
That's a dangerous example of what's going on in your mind.
Social media is doing it all right now.
It is.
Yeah. And that's where everybody's getting so caught up about the
following,
and all that.
the attention.
Dude, honestly,
yes.
You got to just do it for yourself. And if it comes to you, it comes to you. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you know that you're doing it for yourself. Do it for yourself and let everything else unfold by itself.
Yes.
Like
you open the garage,
Yeah.
you see a picture of the car, you go open the garage, you get in it, you drive it. All of that should be what makes you smile for yourself.
Yeah.
But, imagine thousands of dollars and hundreds or thousands of hours of your time and energy.
The time
and
everything.
You bring it out.
Yeah.
And you don't win, and then you're mad about it.
Yeah.
What was that? Was that really to win? And no, but here's the thing. What I'm saying, Nick, is like, I travel all over the world now to judge car shows, host events, and I see it on various levels. If you want to win a car show, man the fuck up to yourself before anyone else and say, I want to win a car show. Then you know what? And then from that point, go about doing what you need to do to win the car show.
Yeah.
But stop being a bitch to yourself and to other people and trying to front like I just did it for myself or this is my style, and then be salty as fuck if you don't win.
That's where people get caught up over their head. And that's where they don't even get along with other people, And social media is such a powerful thing that's where it's all happening right now too.
Dude, it's such an arena for narcissism.
Yeah.
But like at these different events I go to, bro, there are events where, dude, it might be every single time. I mean, there's right now I can't think of a time it didn't happen. So let's go with 100% of the time.
Okay.
I am on stage at the end of an event, we're doing the awards, right? You get to, usually it ends with best of show. You make some announcements. You're telling people the order in which to exit the, arena, the convention center or whatever.
Yep.
So I'm talking to the crowd. I'll be in Miami.
Okay.
I'll be in Chicago. I'll be in, dude, just name a city, right?
Yeah.
All right. My point is, I don't even make it off the stage. Hey, guys, thank you. We appreciate you very much. The show was amazing. Round of applause. Everyone claps. Okay. Everyone starts splitting off. Okay, we're going to do this side of the building first. So you're now literally at the end. It's tapering off. The DJ is starting to wrap up chords. The only thing they have connected is my mic. Music stopped. Everyone's in teardown mode, right?
Yeah.
I don't make it to the stairs.
And they say
to go down before I have one, sometimes 2 or 3 car competitors
come up to you.
They don't even, I'm not down to the ground yet.
They're going to ask you that question.
And they say, hey, man.
That question.
How come I didn't win?
Exactly.
And you're just like, bro, I don't even know what car you have.
That's where they're so caught up in it.
Yes.
If you didn't win, it's okay. You need to just learn how to walk away and just find yourself and just be better. Just, you know what I mean? Not a lot of people can do that. They have to have that strong of ego. I got to approach that judge. I got to approach Big Mike. Okay, it's okay to approach, but there's a way you approach.
There are times when somebody asks articulately. Mm-hmm. They come up politely, respectfully. Yeah. They're like, hey, if you have a moment, can you cruise over real quick? Just kind of give me some guidance. This happens mostly online. So I get this pretty much weekly from private messages, right? But what I'm talking about is in person, somebody will have, the ability, and they'll make themselves come over and they'll ask nicely. Can you give me an input? That's what, like you just said, there's a way to ask.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And then there are the dudes that come over and they're like, yo, you can feel the energy, bro. Yeah. They are mad.
I mean, dude, there's times where I've even overheard, I wasn't even in the competition. I've overheard, my car's better than that car. That's where you got yourself caught up.
Yeah, man.
What are you building it for? Do you just check yourself right now?
Bro, people need, that's what I'm saying. I'm all about self-awareness.
Yeah.
You have to know, just check yourself for a moment. Fine, you don't even want to tell anyone. Just go home.
Yeah.
And figure it out with yourself.
Go home and have a cookie and just discuss yourself.
Yeah, man. Sit down to some tea or some coffee and have a conversation and be like, yo, am I that dude?
Yeah.
And if I'm that dude, I think I might need to make a fucking change in my life.
Yeah.
It's never too late, man. You could be a 40-year-old listening to this or a 16-year-old. Yeah. The salt is real at any age.
The salt is real. It's definitely tough, too. I mean, they're putting it out there heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, the first time it happened, I kind of expect it, right? Yeah. You expect somebody to be feeling some type of way because I used to compete, right? Yeah. I get it, right? But when I started to realize almost from a sociological kind of a psychological perspective.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, man, I could be on the East Coast, the West Coast, the South, in between. And there's always at least one or two that come up and they're just like, yo, I've had dudes be like, hey, show me the numbers, the judging sheet.
That's real serious.
And I'm like, bro, we're not pulling up our judging sheets for you.
That's where they need to stop, and that's being a little too overboard now. That's too serious. I mean, I know it's just a car show. He's supposed to, oh man, for me, I go to the car show, yeah, it's cool to compete and all that and win, but I'm there for 2 things. Number 1 is to catch up with friends I don't see all the time, and it's a blessing to have a great time for the time of the 6 hours that we're there.
Yeah.
And number 2, I had people come up to me and be like, oh, Higgins, are you ready to take your trophy? Man, and I paused and you can even ask a few people about me. I've said, I don't need to win the trophies. It's great. I've won trophies before here, but it's a blessing for you to even tell me that you did a great job on your build.
Yeah.
You inspired me or this and that. And if I can inspire you, I want you to inspire me too. And then they gave me that same energy, and that's priceless to me.
Yes.
Because that's my trophy right there. I could care less about a $40 trophy. You know what I mean? That's
low-key, it's probably more like $14.
Okay, $14, and it's not really that serious, So, oh man, if you got to learn how to just appreciate other things other than, my car is better than that car. you know, this, that.
Isn't that like a mad salty statement?
Oh, it is. It's definitely.
So this isn't people you know, or it's someone you know?
Oh, there's some people that I've just barely even met.
And you just heard them at the show or something?
Yeah.
Or just talking to each other?
I've overheard, like, I've stand, like great example, like at Tuner Evo, when I hear, you know, you're announcing the trophies or this and that.
Yeah.
I've heard people on the side of me about those type of stuff, like, how did he win? You know, Brian's car is better than this car, you know, like this and that. And it's just...
Hey, is Brian a real person? Did you just name drop, or did you just made that up?
I've heard this guy is something, it was like Brian or Ryan or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I think something like that. But he was there. It was in like, I think it was in the, what category was that? I think it was in the Euro category or something like that. And it was at that Tuner Evo that I was able to talk to you with, you know, when we were wearing the same shoes. I was like on the side six. Remember, I was taking photos of you.
We were in the same shoes?
Yeah, we were the cement threes. I was wearing just cement threes.
Oh,
you were wearing cement threes.
That's right. That was like in February of this year.
Yeah, and I remember I was I shot photos a little bit about my
Yeah,
camera.
that's
my car
right.
wasn't out even at that time yet.
It wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
That's right.
I always hear people talking when I'm right at the stage and hear people
Bro,
talking.
I've heard that. You pick any car show series.
Yeah.
Anyone, man. I've heard the salt at every single one of them, man.
Doesn't matter.
One or two, sometimes 5 or 6 people, sometimes whole crews.
Well, yeah, if it's a crew, man.
Yeah.
You guys got a problem with... y'all just need to go to some Baskin Robbins and just, you know...
Yo, Baskin Robbins. Sit down and have some ice cream cake.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, but you know what though? Look, man, like I said, for me, I just want people to own up and be aware of what they're all about. And
Yeah.
if that is what your steez is,
Yeah.
if you are out here trying to sweep up trophies, then you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Don't build a car just for you the way you want to, and then be mad when somebody who might have done what you probably should have done, which
Yeah.
means build it to the spec sheet,
Yeah, spec
right?
sheet, yeah.
Because there are people who do that.
Uh-huh.
There are people who build a car based off of like the numbering sheet, like the judging sheet.
Yeah.
And because that's how their angle to win is. If you just say, oh, I built my car the way it is, like if you just wrapped your shit and put some wheels and air on it and you're mad that you didn't win, which by the way happens all the time,
Yeah.
that's not a fucking build.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
You got somebody who did way more than just wrapping it and putting it on air and some
Yeah.
wheels. That's not a build. That's a car that you put air and wrapped it.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
It takes time and experience, you know. And for me, myself, being in the car scenes from 2008 till 2019 already, I feel like I'm still new to this.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like, this is about to be my second feature for Super Street Magazine. Looking at people that's been in the scene for a long time, I'm definitely still new to this, and I'm still learning something every day.
Always.
Always from the OGs or even the new school folks.
Yeah.
I'm still learning something new.
See, that's what I like, man. I like to hear that, bro, because that attitude is going to keep you going far.
Yeah.
Because you're not over here being like, I'm that dude.
Yeah.
Right? There are guys who act like that after they get one magazine feature. There's guys who act like that after they win one trophy.
And there's guys out there right now that doesn't even want to admit that they're still learning something these days.
Yeah, what is that? What's wrong with admitting that you're a learning?
That's where the pride once again.
Yeah, man. So okay, so let's get to this. We're now in 2019. Right now, like I said, secret location,
Yep.
secret car, doing community conversations, and we're sitting here talking about it. You now have your second Super Street feature coming out. You've won a couple of first place trophies,
Correct.
right? And the whole story behind it, getting that final push to finish it after you dealt with the emotional trauma of your pops, and then less than a year later, your mom's
Passed away, yeah.
yeah, and you're now here, but you do have other family, great people around you.
Yeah, of course. It's
Right?
family, of course, is what's going to keep you going and makes everything stronger.
Yeah.
And for ourselves, we just told ourselves that everything's just going to be just fine. And you got to just have faith that everything will just be just fine, you know?
There it is. So you guys, there's a lot of gems in here,
Yeah.
and a lot of the people who message me, they say, I went back and I listened to, X, Y, and Z episode again. And this is one of those, in the midst of the laughs and the jokes and the omelet he's eating, and I had a sandwich and dogs barking and, in the midst of all of that, there's a lot of very, very profound pieces of gems of the conversation in which, you know, I think one of those is going to hit somebody in the chest. You know, I got people that they tell me, you know, Nick, they pause.
Yeah.
You know, they pause the podcast and they're just like, you know, one guy was like, yo, I was driving and I pulled over so I could comment on on Instagram, you know, which sounds crazy, but it's because I needed to get something off my chest.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's fine.
It's, I mean, I'm glad that you pulled over. I just like the fact that my man's pulled over.
Safely, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, I needed in that moment to say something, to respond. And he did, you know? And you guys, this is what it's all about. The Think Bigger project as a brand and as a movement, as a company, it is growing, and it's growing because there are people like Nick who are willing to share their story. There is a story to share, but more importantly is that they understand and recognize that how you think and how you act in this world, it starts within your mind and your heart.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to constantly check yourself as a man and as a human being to keep yourself grounded.
Definitely
right?
grounded. Yeah.
Keep your perspective. You know, there's so much that we in the community can teach each other, and that's why I started this community conversations. Like I always say, the Think Bigger project and the podcast is not to teach people what to think. It's to help teach people how to think.
Exactly.
And community conversations isn't just to listen to the story and learn about someone. It's to learn from someone.
Yeah.
And truthfully, my dude, I feel like
we all got to learn from each other.
Bro, I think that there's so much that you shared today.
Yeah, and we got to really like learn how to like uplift yourself for sure.
Yes.
Learn how to be by yourself. Learn how to love yourself.
Yes.
Because if you ain't got that, you lost everything. But learn how to love yourself, and we got to learn how to just uplift each other. You know
It's all about the community.
It's all about the community. And
you know, I love it, man.
That's what's gonna make everything stronger around us.
If everyone's just doing for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, and you do have to take care of your personal health and growth, but
of course.
Just like you said.
Yeah.
But you guys, it's about community. That's why, you know, community conversations. There's so many things that Nick shared today that you learned about him and you learned from him, his journey, his struggles, and you know, in the context of the car guys and his build being this outlet of emotion and energy. You know, there are so many things that you guys can hold on to from this particular episode. Dude, it was a beautiful time today, man.
Yeah,
We've had a great weekend.
Yeah,
it's not even over yet.
It's not even over yet.
Yeah, we had yesterday, we had this today.
Yep.
You guys, there's so much, you know, for the people who listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, etc. My Instagram, I post a color-coded thumbnail on my actual page so that we have a comment section there to continue the conversation, right? I will tag HIGGINSBUILT in that post. For those of you on YouTube, same kind of thing. I'll put in the caption comment section how to find him. And you guys, whether it be those two platforms where you have a comment section, you know, I encourage you, interact with him, interact with me, follow him, message him.
Yeah, of course.
When he has time, he'll make time to talk to you.
Yeah, of course. I would want to hear what you would have to say and all that, and I'll do my best to you know, help you out. You know, sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, you know, and sometimes you got to let your ego go down a little bit and just express yourself.
There it is.
Just be humble and just be strong about yourself.
See, you guys, there it is. Nicholas Higgins, aka HIGGINSBUILT. It's been a good one.
Yeah, and I'm excited, and today's still not done.
Yeah, man.
It's nice early morning right now, 10:16 in the morning, and I'm about to go to Universal Studios with my sister and you know, my nephew.
Hey, so there it is, you guys. You know what? Life is what you make it.
Of course it is. And
you can, you know, we were talking about this earlier. You can be across the globe or across the street. You know, people see all the traveling people do. Like, so take traveling. Take winning a car show, take anything, and people see that, like, over there, that accomplishment, that destination, that geographic location, like a beach, or that ultimate car show where he won first place. They see that, whatever that is, as where happiness is.
Yeah.
And it is 100% incorrect.
Yeah.
It's all in your head.
Yeah.
Right? It's all in your head, you guys. So whether you are no car, halfway through a car, whether you are no money, halfway to saving up for a ticket to go somewhere. All of that stuff are just accessories. They are just physical manifestations.
Those could get taken away from you in the snap of a finger.
Yeah, man.
Real talk. So just learn how to like appreciate the little things. Cause dude, like
Life is short, man.
Life is short, dude. And I had to witness that a lot more after losing my mom and dad. And just overall, just don't let little things get you that serious, dude.
Because it's not that serious.
Yeah, it ain't. It's not.
There's so much more to be worried about.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's so much more to be worried about, dude.
As you guys can hear, man.
It's a car show, y'all. Please don't let it get too serious.
There it is.
Just have a good time, meet new people. Oh my goodness.
Talk to people.
If it wasn't for car shows and the whole car theme, I would have never met Rywire. I would never met Big Mike. I would never met so many other people. HHW, Panda Gill, and everybody. Yeah. It's a blessing to me. That's more bigger than, oh, I didn't beat that car at the car show. Dude, do you not remember what you did it for? You did it for, you need to learn how to do it for yourself and how you meet friends.
Yeah.
Friends.
See, but you can use the car show as a way to bring the community together.
That's winning. If you win at the car, if you're winning, you won a friendship. That's
that's
bigger.
Far more important.
That's more important.
Yeah.
Man? Other friends could uplift you and all that, and you could be a better person. You know what I mean? Or they could open your eyes to see big and better things. That's far more winning than like we just winning a $14 trophy, like we said.
Yeah. See, you guys, look, as you can see, we were about to end it, and it just picks right back up. There's so much energy. There's so much to talk about. There's so many lessons that we can learn and from each other and teach each other. Yeah. And so that's what community conversations on this podcast are all about. So once again, I will tag Nick. Please keep in touch with him. Interact about this podcast with us on the Instagram post that I'll do for this episode and on YouTube as well, okay? We want to hear from you. It's important. Once again, it's about the community. So your interaction, your feedback, your feelings, your agreements, your disagreements on anything and everything that you listen to today on any episode. It is crucial that you share it so that we can continue the conversation and continue to grow together. Nick, I appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you for being on here.
Of course, Big Mike, thank you for having me on there. Much love to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, man. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. And for everyone listening, thank you very much. I will see you on the next episode of the Think Bigger podcast.